All right. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, starting 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General YAHANNA. So we're going to not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. You know, we're going to go ahead, bring out these, you know what I'm saying, these Brotherhood scripts, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we already know, man. You know, as a people, we're already lacking in the Brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know what I'm saying, if you went to the Passover and you celebrate the Passover, you know what I'm saying, now you have a good, you know what I'm saying, understanding of what it is to be with your people. You know what I'm saying? To have a you know what I'm saying, understanding of what the Brotherhood is like. You know what I'm saying? And how important that is to really be with your own, with your own nation, dwelling with your own people. You know what I'm saying? And instead of being with another people or celebrating whatever it may be, New Year's Eve or Easter, you know what I'm saying, or you know what I'm saying, something else. It's best to always, you know, dwell with your brothers and sisters, man. You know, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy 4 and 8. All right, so this is 2 Timothy 4 and 8. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness. So, you know what I'm saying? Like how it says, there's a crown of righteousness waiting on us. You know what I'm saying? For those brothers who do the work of the Lord and endure to the end, there's a crown of righteousness waiting on us. You know what I'm saying? All this hard work, it's not for nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, you put in enough work at something, you get rewarded. You know what I'm saying? Whatever that reward may be, you know what I'm saying? If you put your work into, you know, evilness and wickedness, you know what I'm saying, of defying the Lord and not doing the law, statutes, commandments, there's a reward for that too. You know what I'm saying? And the reward for that is death. While the brothers and sisters who do the Lord's work and do the law, statutes, commandments, you know what I'm saying, this is part of the reward. This is one of the rewards, and that's a crown of righteousness. So henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day. You know what I'm saying? So at that day, you know what I'm saying, when it's all done and over with, the Lord will give us a crown of righteousness, everlasting righteousness. Will, you know, our spirit will never corrupt. You know what I'm saying? When we come back into the earth, you're not going to hear about somebody who, you know, a brother who had a crown that, you know what I'm saying, that started eating pork again in the kingdom. And that's going to be unheard of. You know, we're going to put on that incorruptible soul. You know, we're going to be like how the scriptures say, we're going to be like fine gold, man. You know, we're not going to be able to corrode. We're going to be incorruptible, uncorruptible. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord, the righteous judge, you know what I'm saying, the Most High God, you know what I'm saying, has things waiting for us, saying when we make it to the end, man, we have rewards coming to us. So let's continue. Shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. So it's not going to be only given to, a crown of righteousness isn't going to be given to only one man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be given to those men, you know what I'm saying, who endured to the end. Those brothers who endured to the end, you know what I'm saying, that stayed strong and held down this truth, you know what I'm saying, and stayed with the Lord and believed in the Lord, those brothers and sisters, well, those brothers are going to get a crown of righteousness. And there's treasures waiting for us, you know, in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? There's things you can't even imagine yet. You know what I'm saying? And one of those things is this crown of righteousness. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get a crown. You know what I'm saying? And it's only, like the scripture just said, it's only to those, it's only going to be given to those that love the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We know love is an action. You know what I'm saying? Love is a duty. You know what I'm saying? It takes, you know what I'm saying, action to prove your love. A consistent action is how you prove that you're down with, you know, that you love whatever you say you love. You know what I'm saying? There's a consistent action that proves that. You know what I'm saying? So if you say you love the Lord, you're going to continuously, you know what I'm saying, follow the law, statutes, commandments. You're going to continuously come to camp or teach class, or, you know what I'm saying, you're going to continuously do something within the truth. Just like, you know what I'm saying, if you love your job, you know, or, you know, you love, you know what I'm saying, you love, you know, whatever it may be, you love your instrument, you might love the piano, or, you know, anything else. Well, you're going to practice that. You're going to put a consistent action into it. So that way it builds, you know, because you love that thing. So love is a duty. You know what I'm saying? That crown of righteousness is only going to be given to those that truly love the Lord, and, you know what I'm saying, that really love their people. Then those brothers will be given that crown. All right. Let's go ahead and get 1 Thessalonians 1 Thessalonians 5 and 12. Damn it. All right. You know what I'm saying? So like how I said before, it's not going to be just given to one man. You know what I'm saying? One man is not going to just, you know what I'm saying, be handed the crown. You know what I'm saying? One crown is going to be given. No, man, many crowns will be given. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and read that. All right. This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and 12. All right. Right. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you. So it be, you know what I'm saying, you are to know the brothers that labor with you. You know what I'm saying? The brothers that do this work with you, you know what I'm saying, that are out there at camp with you, that celebrate the high holy day, the brothers and sisters, Salakia. You know what I'm saying? Know those brothers and sisters, man. Get to know the people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we're, you know, it's literally like a family. You know what I'm saying? We're in the same struggle together, trying to build with each other. You know what I'm saying? You know, like how the end goal is to, you know what I'm saying, to get that crown of righteousness, to get the kingdom. That's the end goal, to become a nation again. You know what I'm saying? To be put into our own land again, become a nation again, and you know what I'm saying, and build together. You know what I'm saying? We're in this together. You know, it's just not one person, you know what I'm saying, that takes all the weight. You know what I'm saying? We're in this together. So, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know, like how he said, we beseech you that you know those brothers, you know what I'm saying, and sisters that labor among you. You know what I'm saying? We're a family of people. You know, so it's best that we act that way. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord requires that we, you know what I'm saying, that we behave a certain way. That's what the Lord requires. The Lord requires us, you know what I'm saying, to move a certain way and to behave a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's you know what I'm saying, the Lord has a certain standard on us. You know what I'm saying? And if, you know, it's a standard that we gotta keep. You know what I'm saying? If you don't keep that standard, then, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get put to death, or you're not gonna make the cut. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the Lord, you know what I'm saying, like, for instance, he's given us these laws, statutes, commandments. You know, they're laws. You know what I'm saying? They're commandments, they're orders. You know what I'm saying? It's a standard that must be kept. You know, so we have to behave a certain way. We have to move a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And one of those ways, you know what I'm saying, is to love your brother, love one another. You know what I'm saying? Know those brothers and sisters that are in the same fight with you. You know what I'm saying? That are doing this whole thing with you. And you know what I'm saying? We're in this same struggle. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're not outside your own people. You know what I'm saying? You're not just, you can never be, you know, you can never rise above the state of your own people. You know, it just doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, a good example would be, you know what I'm saying, these so-called celebrities. You know what I'm saying? These basketball stars and football stars. You know what I'm saying? Movie stars. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can never rise above your own people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still just a nigga to them. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it doesn't matter how much you do or how well you play basketball or how well you speak or how well you do whatever. You know what I'm saying? You still a part of your nation. You know what I'm saying? You represent your people. You know what I'm saying? In some form or fashion. So, you know, you can never just say you're outside your own people and, you know, forget the rest of your people because you're this and you're that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, these brothers and sisters, we share the same struggle. So, you know what I'm saying? It behooves you to know the people who's, you know what I'm saying, share the same, you know what I'm saying, who go through the same things you do. You know what I'm saying, because they, in a sense, they'll know you best. You know what I'm saying? They'll know you better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, they'll know it, they'll walk through the same things you walk through. You know what I'm saying? Because since we're on the same path, we're going to go through the same things, just in a different way. So, you know, the brotherhood is important. You know what I'm saying? That the sisterhood is important as well. You know what I'm saying? We can learn from each other. You know, we can, you know what I'm saying, that the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? It's in our best interest, you know what I'm saying, to, you know what I'm saying? And that's really how you love your brothers and sisters. You get to know them. You know what I'm saying? That's one aspect of you know what I'm saying, knowing the people who labor among you, knowing those brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? You get to know that brother or sister. You know what I'm saying? You get to know how that person is. You know what I'm saying? That's part of it. So let me go ahead and get Psalms. Let me see. Psalms 133 and 1. So Psalms 133 and 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You know what I'm saying? It's pleasant that we dwell together in unity. You know what I'm saying? Not in you know what I'm saying, and hatred and you know what I'm saying, it's best that we dwell together, you know, in a very positive, you know, state, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying that's how things get done. I'm saying that's how we learn from each other. That's how we come up as a people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, how pleasant, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You know what I'm saying? When we dwell together, when we come together as a people, you know what I'm saying, it's a beautiful sight. You know what I'm saying? It's no ordinary thing, because you know what I'm saying, nowadays that's not something that really happens out of you know what I'm saying, out of, you know what I'm saying, like when we get together, it's not always for the better. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find that scripture right now. I know I got it. I know it's in 1 Corinthians. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When we dwell together, typically, like for instance, gangs, you know what I'm saying, that's brothers and sisters dwelling together, but it's not exactly, you know what I'm saying, in a way that's gonna that's actually building their community. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's not you know what I'm saying, we're not dwelling in a sense to you know what I'm saying, come up together. We're dwelling in a way that's destroying each other. You know what I'm saying? Like gangs don't really build their community. You know what I'm saying? Gangs really just, you know, spread their own territory and further destroy, you know what I'm saying, their own people. It's never into, you know what I'm saying, building each other in a more positive way. All right, so let me go ahead and read 1 Corinthians 11 and 17. Now, in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not that ye come together, not for the better, but for the worse. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, you know what I'm saying, I don't praise you at all, because when we come together, you know what I'm saying, it's not into to building each other up. You know what I'm saying? When we come together, we ready to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? When we come together, it's on beef or to, you know what I'm saying? It's not to build each other up. It's more so to bring each other down. So you know what I'm saying? But when it's done, you know, how we read in Psalms 133:1, when it's done in unity, you know what I'm saying? When it's done to unify into something, you know what I'm saying? To unify and to organize, you know what I'm saying? It's good and pleasant, man. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, we really, you know, as a people, we really prosper when we get on one accord. You know what I'm saying, when we put all of our focus on one thing, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna get done. You know what I'm saying, we gonna make it happen. You know what I'm saying? But that's, you know, when we organize as a people. When we organize as a people and unify and do something in a more positive way, you know what I'm saying, that's good and pleasant. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's get 1 John. All right. 1 John 3 and 11. All right. 1 John 3 and 11. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. So that's the message that we've heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's changed. You know what I'm saying? That's no new message. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that you know what I'm saying, John just came up with. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you know, how can I say, it's nothing new. You know what I'm saying, you know, that's been since, you know, we already know the greatest commandments. Love the Lord with all your heart and love one another. So that's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? These are no new things. You know what I'm saying? You've been, like how it says, you heard from the beginning that we should love one another. All right. So next verse, verse 12. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother, and wherefore slew he him, because his own works were evil and his brother's righteous. So we're not to be like Cain. You know what I'm saying? That's not how you be a brother. And Cain wasn't no brother. I'm saying Cain hated his brother. That's why he slew Abel. I'm saying we're not to be like Cain. Cain had no love for Abel. I'm saying when you murder your brother in cold blood, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, it don't take a genius, man. That means you hate your brother, man. You know what I'm saying, not only that, you're a cold-blooded murderer because you had no cause. There was no cause for you to, you know, murder a brother. You know what I'm saying? There was no cause for Cain to murder Abel. You know what I'm saying? Cain was just a cold-blooded murderer. You know what I'm saying? He had hate for Abel. That's why, you know what I'm saying? And he also hated the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Cain had a lot of hate for the Lord because he knew the Lord didn't like, you know what I'm saying? Every time he had an offering, you know what I'm saying? When Cain created an offering for the Lord, he was always rejected. You know what I'm saying? Really, if Cain wanted to, you know, if Cain wanted the Lord to show love onto him, he would have gave him the best of his, you know, livestock. You know what I'm saying? He would have changed up his offering. You know what I'm saying? But Cain didn't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Cain gave the Lord his scraps. You know what I'm saying? Cain didn't give a damn about the Lord. And he didn't give a damn about his people. All right. So let's keep going. So marvel not, my brethren, if the world hates you. So don't worry, you know what I'm saying? Don't marvel because the world hates you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's no strange thing when the world hates us. You know what I'm saying? It's no strange thing that these other nations hate us. You know what I'm saying? They really just want to be like us. You know what I'm saying? They really wish they had a father, you know what I'm saying, a heavenly father. You know what I'm saying? These other nations don't have a heavenly father. You know what I'm saying? That's why they just create anything. They just, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, they'll create you know what I'm saying, Shiva and Vishnu, and you know what I'm saying, they'll create gods. You know what I'm saying? You know, Caesar Borgia, you know what I'm saying, they'll create gods and follow them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because they wish they had a heavenly father, but they don't. They just have vain imaginings. You know what I'm saying? So marvel not when the world hates you, because they really want to be like you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, you see that today on how much, you know, all other races and nations hate us. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, if we were Africans, you know what I'm saying, Africans would have been tried to get us back. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, especially the way we build this kingdom up, Africans would be, you know what I'm saying? Africans damn near would start World War IV to get us back if we were the same people. You know what I'm saying? But we're not the same people. You know what I'm saying? Africans sold us into slavery. You know what I'm saying? Africans don't love you. You know what I'm saying? You're not an African. You know what I'm saying? You're not, you know, just because we have the same skin color, it doesn't mean that we are the same people. So it's, you know, we already know, man. This world hates us, man. Especially when we're bringing out this truth. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and go to verse 14. we know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. You know what I'm saying? We know that we're now alive, you know what I'm saying, because we love our people. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I guess you know what I'm saying, the breath of life is to do the law, statutes, commandments. You know what I'm saying? That's when you live again, is when you do the Lord's commandments. You know what I'm saying? So when you and loving one another, you know what I'm saying, like how we just read, what did it say? You know what I'm saying? For this, you know, verse 11, for this message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. You know what I'm saying? That's a commandment. So that's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know, doing the commandments is how you live again. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know you, let's see, let me read it again. We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. Right. So that's how you know you're starting to live again, because you're starting to love your people again. You know what I'm saying? Let me continue. He that loveth not his brother abideth in death. So when you don't love your people, you know what I'm saying, you abide in death. You know what I'm saying? You know, death is what really awaits you. Hell is what awaits us. You know what I'm saying? Because when you turn your back on your own people, it's really not in your own favor. You know what I'm saying? You, Uncle Tom and you know what I'm saying, shucking and jiving and cooning. You know what I'm saying? It's really, you know, you're really a coward. You know what I'm saying? You really hate your brother. You know what I'm saying? You really abide in death. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're not like we're not like how it said, we're not to be like Cain. You know what I'm saying? We're to be like Abel. You know what I'm saying? Who the Lord showed his favor in, and who, you know what I'm saying, the Lord was pleased with his offering. I'm saying we're to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Cain abided in death. He hated his brother. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give a damn about his people. You know what I'm saying? He didn't care about his family, his brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? When you start hating your people, you know what I'm saying, that's the fastest way for us as a nation to, you know what I'm saying, to lose. Because now, you know, as a nation, you know, you hating your brother, now you're the chink in that armor. You know what I'm saying? Now there's a way for the enemy to destroy us all through you, because you hate your brother so much. You know what I'm saying? Now there's our defense is weakened. You know what I'm saying? Our gates languish because our people just hate each other. You know what I'm saying? We need strong gates again. You know what I'm saying? We don't need languished gates. We need strong gates to hold a defense. You know what I'm saying? Strong gates that, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, there isn't a weak spot in the armor. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, nothing but strong warriors, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Verse 15, whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. So, you know what I'm saying? We know the story of Cain and Abel. And Cain slew his brother. You know what I'm saying? He was a cold-blooded murderer because he hated his people. You know I'm saying, you hate your brother, you might as well be a murderer, because, you know what I'm saying, you abide in death, man. You don't give a damn about your people. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing, you know, like I said, once you hate your people, man, you're on a fast track to being a traitor and selling your people out, and you know what I'm saying, you're on the highway to hell, man. You know what I'm saying? Give me actually, you know what? Let's keep going. Hereby perceive we the love of God, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brother. You know what I'm saying? Christ had the most love for his people, man. Right. Because Christ, you know what I'm saying, ended up being that lamb for us. You know what I'm saying? He sacrificed his life to, you know what I'm saying, that way You know what I'm saying? He took on all the weight. I want to say atone for sins, but you know what I'm saying Christ, he was the ultimate brother because he laid down his life for his brothers, for his people. You know what I'm saying? And it's that same way. That's the ultimate act you can really do. You know what I'm saying? As a brother or sister, when you lay down your life, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's damn near like a medal of honor. Well, better. You know what I'm saying? Right. So this is John 15 and 12. This is my commandment that ye love one another as I have loved you. Right. So that ye love one another as I have loved you. So this is in red. This is Christ talking right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And we should have this same amount of love that Christ had for us. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that ye love one another as I have loved you. You know what I'm saying? Love each other as much as Christ loved us. You know what I'm saying? Next verse. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. You know what I'm saying? There's no greater love than that. There's no greater love, you know what I'm saying, that somebody can saying that's just the most honorable thing you can do, man. When you lay down your life for a brother or sister, man. I'm saying there's nothing better than that. I'm saying you showed as the ultimate love. So, all right, so right. So verse 17, 1 John 3 and 17. But whoso hath this world's good and seeth his brother have need and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him? So when you have, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, when you have riches or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you a wealthy person or you got this or that, but you see your brother hurting, you know what I'm saying, you see your brother, you know what I'm saying, he might be homeless or something. And then, like I say, you shutteth up your bowels of compassion. You don't have any compassion for your brother. You know what I'm saying? How can there be any, you know what I'm saying, how can there be a love of God in you? You know what I'm saying? You know, like, for instance, these Christian churches. I'm saying, how can there be any love of God in them when, you know what I'm saying, like when this hurricane came through, there were no churches that were open. You know what I'm saying? Churches weren't, you know what I'm saying, letting the brother, you know what I'm saying, our people in to stay, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, brothers and sisters had they houses blown down and destroyed from all the water. You know what I'm saying? How is there love of God in Christianity? Or these pastors or in the Muslim mosque, and you know what I'm saying, there isn't any love of God in it. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have any love for their people. You know what I'm saying there's no love for there's no love in them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying they are just like, you know what I'm saying, their father the devil. You know what I'm saying that's what they are. You know what I'm saying they follow after, you know what I'm saying, Caesar Borgia, or however you know what I'm saying, however you say his name, right? You know what I'm saying? That's who they follow. You know what I'm saying that's their God. You know what I'm saying they deny the real God and rather, you know what I'm saying, stay a homeborn slave and love, you know what I'm saying, the so-called white slave master. You know what I'm saying they don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? So how can you, there is no love, you know what I'm saying, for their people in them. So how can you love God? You know what I'm saying? You haven't even seen God. You know what I'm saying? And especially, you know what I'm saying, the way you love God, is to do the commandments, and loving one another is a commandment. If you're not doing that, how you doing the commandments? You know what I'm saying? That's loving your brothers and sisters. That's one of the greatest commandments. So you definitely don't have a love for God or your people. You know what I'm saying? You damn near worthless. So, you know what I'm saying, let's keep it going. I'm saying, my little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to do something, you know what I'm saying? If you say you love something, you're going to do it. You're going to do it in deed, which means in action, and you're going to do it in truth. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're the, you know what I'm saying, I.S.U.P.K, man, we're the home of the truth, man. Because we really live out this Bible. We really do what the scriptures say to do. You know what I'm saying? We really love our people. We really go out there every weekend, put our lives on the line, and bring this truth to our people. You know what I'm saying? Bring out who they are, their nationality. I'm saying this white man doesn't want you to know who you are. He's not telling you who you really are. Right. You know what I'm saying? He just called you an African American. He named you after 2 white people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? He has no love for you. You know what I'm saying? You're not an African. You know what I'm saying? You're not a Canaanite. You know what I'm saying? You're not Ham. You know what I'm saying? You come from, you know what I'm saying, you're Shemitic, man. You come from Isaac and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? You're an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? That's part of how you show love, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is showing love. Me teaching you, that's showing love. Bringing out these scriptures, that's showing love. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, that's one way of doing it. All right. So let's get Romans 8 and 28. All right. All right, Romans 8 and 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. Right. So all things work in our favor, man. You know what I'm saying? Like how the scriptures say, all things are made for our learning. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, for us, this whole earth is for us. You know what I'm saying? Other nations are our possession. They're our inheritance. They're for us. You know what I'm saying? Not the other way around. You know what I'm saying we're not to be subservient under another nation. And especially if the natural order is for them to be subservient under us. You know, so, you know, it's all for us. This whole earth is for us. You know what I'm saying? The trees, you know what I'm saying, the animals, the plants, you know what I'm saying? Anything you can think of. Matter of fact, the universe, the multiverse, you know what I'm saying? The stars, everything. It's all for us. It's for our learning and our understanding. But it's only for those that love the Lord. That's it. You know what I'm saying? For the Israelites who love the Lord, it's for those brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? It's not for the wicked. It's not for the sinful. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying it, like, what's that saying? For much responsibility is for those who've given much power, or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of power. But it's still, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to shy away from the power or shy away from all the responsibility. You know, when you do that, man, you know, that's how can I say, that's, you know, you're on a path to hating all that's been given to you because you don't appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? The same way Esau didn't appreciate his blessing, you know what I'm saying? So he sold it for a bowl of stew. You know what I'm saying? He sold it for you know what I'm saying, a bowl of meat. You know what I'm saying? He didn't give a damn about his blessing. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's up to us, man, to love the Lord. You know what I'm saying? To do what the Lord say. You know what I'm saying? And you do that, man. This whole everything in existence is for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord, he's going to look out for his children. You know what I'm saying? He's going to look out for his people. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So let's get Hebrews 12:6. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? It's no hard task to love your people, man. It's not something that's very, you know what I'm saying, like how the scriptures say, you know what I'm saying, I'm saying the laws aren't grievous. And this isn't something that's very hard to do. It's not, I'm saying, it's not challenging. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Nobody's telling you to making you run, you know what I'm saying, a marathon you know, nobody's telling you to run 12 miles or 8 miles or something. So nobody's telling you to do that. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do, you know what I'm saying, change your diet. You know what I'm saying? Change your eating habits. You know what I'm saying? Love your people. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the main ones. Love the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Wear your fringes, man. You know what I'm saying? Not on your t-shirt, but on your garment. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy things, man. You know what I'm saying? Just love your people, man. If your love for your people is greater than the love for your world, for you know what I'm saying, for this world, you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, like, in a sense, we prove it all the time, man. I'm saying, going out there, putting our lives online. The love for our people is way greater than the love of America, the love of you know what I'm saying, the doctrines of men. You know what I'm saying? We have a great amount of love for our people because we're willing to, you know what I'm saying, how the scriptures say there's no greater love for a brother to lay down his life, you know what I'm saying, for his people. And that's the ultimate amount of love you could show. All right. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and read that. Hebrews 12:6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourges every son whom he receiveth. You know what I'm saying? So if the Lord loves you, he's going to chastise you. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go through trials and tribulations, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be going through it. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know what I'm saying, just because we're in the truth doesn't mean we don't go through trials or anything anymore. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're in the, you know, Christ isn't back. You know what I'm saying? So we still in slavery. You know what I'm saying? So we still got many trials and tribulations to go through. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's going to chastise. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's going to test you, who he loves. You know what I'm saying? Just the same way, you know, a father to a son. You know, right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to test your son. You're going to test your son so he's strong. He becomes a stronger man. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully a stronger man, you know what I'm saying, than his father. I'm saying he's gonna keep putting his son to the test, you know what I'm saying, because he loves his son. He wants to see his son do well. So he wants to see his son, you know what I'm saying, prosper and go on to, you know what I'm saying, leave his house and go on to do good things. You know what I'm saying? So that's how any dad would, or any dad who loves his son, he's gonna put his son to the test. He's going, you know what I'm saying, like just the same way the Lord's going to do the same thing. The Lord's going to put you to the test, man. All right. Yeah, let's keep going. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. So if the Lord's putting you to test, you know what I'm saying, you enduring the chastening, you know what I'm saying, you doing good. You a good son. You know what I'm saying? You a son that the Lord loves. Because every time you pass in the test, you know what I'm saying, you enduring. I'm saying damn near you endure to the end. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, the Lord has a lot of love for you, man. Because every test the Lord sends your way, you pass it. Flying colors, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's keep going. Where am I? Right. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? So the Lord, you know what I'm saying, if if your dad doesn't test you, or you're not testing your son, you don't really love your son, man. If you're not putting your son through tests and having him grow, having him how can I say push past his limitations, you know what I'm saying, then you're not doing good for your son. You know what I'm saying? You damn near hate your son because you're not really challenging him. You're not challenging him. You're not giving him anything to do. You don't care about your son. You know what I'm saying? It'd be better for you not to even have a son because you don't care. But the Lord, you know what I'm saying, he's a good father. He's our heavenly father. He's going to put our people to the test so we can grow. We can keep growing. You know what I'm saying? And eventually we're going to have our own kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the test we're going through is one of them is the damn near first one is waking up to who we are as a people. And then, you know what I'm saying, after you wake up to who you are as a people, the next test, you know what I'm saying, is are you going to do something for your people? You know what I'm saying? Once you found out you're an Israelite, well, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to finally join the one body, or are you going to go off and start a fake Israelite camp, you know what I'm saying, and further confuse the people? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of tests. There's a lot of tests that we go through. You know what I'm saying? The brothers in here, we keep passing tests. You know what I'm saying? The Lord loves us so much. And that's why we made it to this truth. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ for Commanding General YAHANNA. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Ottawa been through it. You know what I'm saying? He you know what I'm saying, since way back, man, for many years. You know what I'm saying? That brother has my respect, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this life, you know what I'm saying, being in this truth, it's not an easy thing. You know what I'm saying? Getting to the Passover itself was not an easy thing. You know, I'm sure many brothers and sisters went through several things just to even make it to New York to celebrate the Passover. That was a test in itself. And then there was Hebrew Academy trials. So that was you know what I'm saying, that was nothing easy. You know what I'm saying? That was not easy. So, you know what I'm saying, there's many a test, you know, that the Lord's gonna put on you, man. You know what I'm saying? Just know when you go through these tests, that's the Lord pushing you. You know what I'm saying? That's the Lord wanting you to do better. You know what I'm saying? The Lord wants you to be a good servant, a good son. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord desires of you. All right. So verse 8, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons? Right. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? Right. So it's better that we be, you know what I'm saying, like how I said, we have fathers that didn't care about us, that probably didn't correct us. You know what I'm saying? But now we have a heavenly Father that does love us, that does correct us. You know what I'm saying? That puts us to the test. You know what I'm saying? That Father loves us. The Father that puts you through, you know what I'm saying, trials so you can, you know what I'm saying, become a better person. That's the, you know what I'm saying, that's the Father that loves you. You know what I'm saying? Or a person, you know what I'm saying? If your brother puts you through certain trials, you know what I'm saying, that brother loves you. You know what I'm saying? That brother is, correction is love. You know what I'm saying? Rebuke is you know what I'm saying? Correcting your brother is love, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that brother wants you he wants to lead you in the right way so you can go the right way. So you're not confused, or you're not, you know, going to stray off into another path. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to, you know, your brothers don't want hell for you. You know what I'm saying? They want you to be okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get Deuteronomy 8 and 5. All right. Deuteronomy. All right, Deuteronomy 8 and 5. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee. So it's the same way. The Lord is like a father to us. All right. He's going to chastise you. He's going to put you through trials and tribulations. You are going to be put through a test. You will be tested. You know what I'm saying? And it's all for your good. All right. So let's keep going. Therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him. I'm saying that's how you pass your test. You keep the law, statutes, commandments, and you walk in the ways of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And to fear the Lord is to respect the Lord, which means you're going to do the commandments. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? That's how you pass your trials and tribulations. You keep going on. You keep enduring. You keep moving. You know what I'm saying? You keep doing, you know what I'm saying, these commandments. You know what I'm saying? As long as you stay on that straight path and you don't deviate, you're okay. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, you know, but once you get off that path, you know what I'm saying, that's where you mess up. Because getting off the path to righteousness isn't passing your test. It's not, you know, like if you smoking weed or something, you know what I'm saying? Let's say you haven't smoked weed in 2 years. But then you relapse. You just went off the path, man. You know what I'm saying? You might have said in your head, man, if I just smoke it this one more time, I'll be good. I just, you know, just that one more time. You know, it helped me relax and I'll be okay, you know, for another 2 years. No, man, it's not gonna work that way. You know what I'm saying? Getting off the righteous path isn't passing your trials. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get hit even harder with more tests, so that demon's fully gone from you. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way in your household too. You know what I'm saying? If your husband is testing you, man, that brother loves you. He's got a lot of love for you. You know what I'm saying? Because he wants you to become a better wife. He wants you to be more righteous. He wants to see you do better. He wants you, you know what I'm saying, to prosper. You know what I'm saying? You know, if your husband testing you, you know what I'm saying, correcting you, he's just showing you the way in which you need to go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That way things are more harmonious. Things, you know, You know, we're on the same path. We're not in some kind of weird, confused, disagreeing, you know, state or something. You know, we're on the same path. You know, we know which way to go. You know what I'm saying? And that's together. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's go ahead. Let's get Second Chronicles. Second Chronicles. No, I'm tripping. Second Chronicles 2 and no, 7 and 15. Second Chronicles. Right. No. Wait, I'm tripping. Hold on. Yeah. No, okay. Second Chronicles 15:7. My bad. Right. All right. So Second Chronicles 15:7. All right. Be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. So just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, stay on that same path, man. When tests come your way, you know what I'm saying? When Satan tests you or when you're being tested, you know what I'm saying? Stay on the righteous path, man. Be ye strong. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your hands be weak, because you know what I'm saying, which really means, you know what I'm saying, don't become so weak that you go back to the world, man. That you start loving America again, and you start loving the ways of this world, and you start loving Christianity again. That's being weak when you know none of that is true. You know what I'm saying? So be ye strong. I'm saying don't let your hands be weak. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And like how it says, for your work shall be rewarded. You know, there's a reward, like how I said earlier, there's a reward for all this. You know, so you keep doing this, you know what I'm saying? All of this is, it's not for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe some of us forget, but doing all this, you know what I'm saying, standing for Christ and standing for the Lord, and you know what I'm saying, speaking about this truth and bringing it out, and staying strong. You know, if you're a sister, staying strong for your husband. You know what I'm saying, if you're a brother, staying strong for Christ and the Lord, and staying in this truth. I'm saying it's not for nothing. You know I'm saying you will be rewarded, like with anything. There's a reward coming. You know I'm saying it's not for nothing, man. You know I'm saying, so let's go ahead. Let's get Luke 21. Luke 21 and 16. All right. I don't know why I do that. All right. So Luke 21 and 16. And right. And ye shall be destroyed. No, Salakia. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. So that's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna be going through a lot of trials, man. You know what I'm saying? Christ is speaking about some of the trials we're gonna be going through. You know what I'm saying? Like when you came into the truth, you know what I'm saying, when you got knowledge of who you were, man. You know what I'm saying? Your friends and family probably didn't take it too well. You know what I'm saying? They started saying, well, you in that cult. You know what I'm saying, you're not who you used to be. I don't like the new you. You know what I'm saying? And probably some of your parents or whatever kicked you out their house, or your wife stopped loving you, and she probably, you know, called Esau on you, or for whatever reason, and you know what I'm saying, a lot of things probably happened in your life. You know what I'm saying? We go through them trials, man. You know what I'm saying? Enduring is staying in this truth it's not an easy thing. It's easy. It's not a grievous thing to keep the commandments, but to consistently do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's not a hard thing either. Consistently keeping the commandments, it's not hard. But enduring is the hardest. That's why it says those men, those brothers and sisters who do endure to the end, you know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that are going to be saved. You know what I'm saying? But there's, you know, right now Christ is speaking of the you know, some of the trials that we will go through, some of the things that you will go through, like being betrayed by your family. You know what I'm saying? Being, you know, and your friends, you know, you might have been, you know, saying, popular or whatever. Saying once you got into the truth, you know, and you started posting about the truth on Facebook, all your friends stop messing with you. Saying you don't have no more friends no more, which is just fine because now you got brothers, you got sisters, saying which are 1,000 times better than a friend because a friend backstabs you. I'm saying friends don't have anything there's no foundation in friendship. But there is a foundation in being a brother or a sister. You know what I'm saying? That's because we come from the same father. You know what I'm saying? That's because we go through the same struggle. All right. Verse 17. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. You know what I'm saying? So the same way Christ was hated, man. You know what I'm saying? Even the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Our people hated Christ. So it's the same thing today. When we go out there to camp, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time it's our people who come up against us and saying we're, you know, try to do us harm or, you know what I'm saying, mess with our books and flip over the table and try to knock over our signs, spit on us and curse us out. You know what I'm saying? It's mostly our people. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be hated of all men. You know what I'm saying? And that does include our people. That includes the white man. You know what I'm saying? For Christ's name's sake, for the Lord's name's sake, man. All right. So let's get Revelations 2 and 10. This be the last one. All right. So Revelations 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. So don't fear any of this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Going through trials, it's not something to be scared of. Getting put to the test, it's not something to be scared of. You know what I'm saying there's no fear in love. So if you know you're doing the right thing, there's nothing to be scared of. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll know the Lord is with you. Because you've been doing the right thing. You've been doing what the Lord say to do. So there's nothing to be scared of. There's no reason to be scared. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You suffering right now, just already being in America. It's a trial. Just being here is a trial. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Don't be like how I said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. You know what I'm saying? Don't fear any of it. You know what I'm saying? We suffer every day. So I'm saying, don't worry about it. Saying, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So, you know what I'm saying? We got brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? We have a prison program, man. We waking up brothers and sisters in the jail. You know what I'm saying? In prison. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are already in prison. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers in the school are already in prison, waking up other brothers and sisters in prison. So, you know what I'm saying? These scriptures, man, they're real, man. I'm saying this book is still going on. I'm saying it's not a dead book. I'm saying the Lord is not dead. The Lord is alive. You know what I'm saying? And he, you know, to those, you know, brothers and sisters who do the Lord's will, the Lord does care about those, you know what I'm saying, us. You know what I'm saying? All right. So wait, where was I? Right. and be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So be faithful, man. I'm saying keep this truth all the way into the end, man. I'm saying all the way. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, so we're gonna have our nation. It's been prophesied we will have a nation. It's gonna happen. The kingdom will happen. That's for sure. It's already guaranteed that the kingdom will eventually come. You know what I'm saying? It's guaranteed. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is are you gonna be in there? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna be one of the righteous who ended up there? Did you endure to the end? That's the only difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that's not guaranteed. If you know what I'm saying, like the scriptures say, make your election sure, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you make it. Make sure you endure. You know what I'm saying? Because those that make it, that endure to the end, there's a reward. Like how we said before, one of those rewards is a crown of righteousness, is a rulership. So, all right. So with that, you know what I'm saying? I pass the class over to Trooper Rom. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna bring out the security announcements. And make sure y'all check out Just Laundry. It's at Etsy.com. Also, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brothers and sisters that came to class, and shout out to the brothers and sisters online. And make sure y'all eat y'all, you know what I'm saying, 11 bread. You know what I'm saying it, you know, for the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'm saying Shalom, Yahabashim, Shalom, Barakatah. Shalom, Yahal, Shamar, Alatah, Hashem, Yahushai to the sisters. Go ahead.
We are the Israelite school, started out on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, Mayasharah, 10% of every penny of any increase that the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of the First Fruits. Starts after the Sabbath. Unleavened bread. Sundown, Sunday, April 28, 2019. Count 50 days. Only celebrate the 50th day. Monday, June 17, 2019. Start before sundown. Out of the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 10 through 22. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.